Good morning, learners. Welcome to today's math lesson. And our math lesson today is going to be percentage quantities, whereby you ask, what is this percentage of a certain quantity? Quantity is amount of substance or amount, the number of things. Quantity, amount of things. Like for example, you can be told that what is 20% of 600 shillings. Remember, that is a question. So the 600 shillings becomes the quantity in our case here. And so you're required to get 20% of this number. And so it's very easy. You just say, what is 20%? You know how to write it in the other form. So you write this as a fraction. So this becomes 20% of means multiplication of 600. So it's as simple as that. So you realize that 20% of 600 is simply 120, and because this is a known quantity, which is shillings, so you say it's 120 shillings. Simple as that. 120 shillings. So that is 20% of 600 shillings. Can I have another question, Lana? If a class of 350, a class of 350 children boys are 15%. How many boys are there in a class of 300 children, or pupils in this case? Let me write pupils here. In a class of 300 pupils, boys are 15%. How many boys are there? That is question A. And B, that is Roman 2 of it. How many girls are there? So these are kind of the questions that come in an exam in class 6, whereby you are required to get a percentage of a quantity. So in this case, if you want to answer this question, we must be very careful to be able to answer this question. So you must get the total quantity. I told you that for you to be able to do mathematics and do it so well, you need to have a way of handling mathematics. If you are given a word question, you break it into statements that you can be able to work with. So the total quantity or the total number of pupils is 350. So we have boys. Boys is what percentage? Boys are 15%. 15%. Then girls are also given. So meaning that girls are not given. So if boys are 15%, and we are talking about being 100%, the whole class being 100%, meaning that we can still get the quantity of girls. So what are we saying here? For us to be able to get girls, we get the total class, which is 100%. When the class is full, both boys and girls are in school that day, it gives us 100%. So you subtract the 15% for the boys, and we are going to be left with the girls, which are going to be 85%. Meaning that the girls, we know that they are 85%. So for us to be able to answer this question, it's very easy. So Roman 1, we want to answer Roman 1. How many boys are there in that class? So boys are 15%, and so we can simply write 15% of the total class, which is 350 pupils. So how do we write this number? 15 out of 100 times 350 by 5 by 5. Let's change this to be an even number so that we don't have a board, something like that. Let's say this is 600 or so. Let's talk about 600 so that we have a number that can be able to work with. So assuming there are 600 people in the class. So boys Also going to change here. So that now we have 600 as our number, so that we can be able to get the right thing. So 15% of 600 in this case. So you realize that these two zeros will cancel, and that you realize that boys are on 15 times 8, which is simply 90. So we have 90 boys. 90 boys. And so if you want to get the number of girls, it's simple. Roman 2. The girls are 85 of 85% of 600 in that case. And so this is 85 out of 100 times 600. Two zeros will cancel. So this is 85. 85 times 6 is simply going to be 0. Then you carry 3. This is 48 and so 51. So these are going to be girls. 510 girls. If you want to understand whether it's true or the answer is true, take 510 plus 90. If you don't get 600, you must have gone wrong somewhere. And so in one case here, 510 plus 90 is simply 600. So these are kind of the questions that come in an exam. You will be able to meet them in an exam. Not as simple as they are put in the book, but sometimes they complicate them so that they can see you failing. But now because you know how to do them, I'm sure you're going to get them right. Let's work out another question. There is a question here. If, so, what is 55% of 360 oranges? Let's answer that, Lana. What is 55% of 360 oranges? That is going to be C. 55% of 360 oranges. Lana, we have the quantity, which is 360. So what is 55%? You write it as a fraction. So 55% means 55 out of 100 of 360. I told you simply off means multiplication. So instead of putting multiplication, I can also put off. That will cancel. By 2, you get 5. By 2, you get 18. By 5, 1. By 5, 11. So 11 times 18 is simply 18 and 18 to give you 198. And so 55% of 360 is 198. You just don't simply write 198 because I don't know what these are. You must look at the quantity. So oranges. So you write 198 oranges. If you don't write this for me, I'm going to give you a wrong because I don't know what you're calculating, whether they are cows or whatever. You've seen me write here 90 boys. If I had just written 90, then I'm wrong in my question. I've written here 510 girls. Because what you're looking for is number of people in specific gender, that is boys and girls. So that's how you work it out. So we can have also another question. Now away from that, we can be given another question which says, I want you to hear this question, Anna, that if 30% represents 6 items, if 30% represents 60, it's 60, yes, 60 items, 60 items. And as to go together, how many items are there in the shop? Okay, there was a question. All right, how many items are there in the shop? How many items are there in the shop? In the shop. If 60, if that person represents 6 items in a shop, 6 items in a shop, that is very important. In a shop, full stop. How many items are there in the shop? Now we are going to assume that this particular shop is full. That the shop is full, and so all items are there. And so we are going to say that percent you are given here represents only 60 items. You have the quantity. Now the question is, how many items are there in the shop? Meaning that you can still get 100%. You want to know when the shop is full, how many items are always there. So there is a deficit here in our percentage. We need to complete this to make 100%. There are two ways of doing this question. Number one, you can calculate what is the deficit of that percent. What is remaining for us to be able to make this 100%? And so it's 70. If you get that plus 70, you are going to get 100%. So if 30% is 60, what about 100%? That is your question. So you're going to get 100% times. Remember, we are multiplying with the number above the question mark. That's very important to put the question mark here. Times 60 items over this percentage, which is 30%. And so percentage will cancel 31 by 32. So you're going to realize that the shop when full has 200 items. 200 items. I do not want to put this here because it will confuse you. So this is how you do it. If now you're comparing, this is exactly how you do it. So you simply say, if that percent is equivalent to 60 items, what about when the shop is full, 100%? I just wanted to add this 70 here to show you where the 100% is coming. The 100% comes from the deficit where we're getting here. So the shop when full is supposed to be 100%. And so this one is to follow with the number above the question mark. And so 100% times 6 items over this percentage here, 30%. And so this and this will cancel by that one, by that 2. And this is going to give you 200 items. And there you get your answer and you get your two marks. So you're going to meet such questions in the next exercise that I'm going to give you, where you're told if 50% is 30, what is 1%? 1% is, let's see, if I want to give you another one. If 50% is 30, or 30 items, what about 1%? So 1% is going to be 1% times 30 over 50. That is going to be simply that percent. Percent will be cancelled. So this is going to be 30 out of 50. So that's how you're supposed to write where you ask about what is 1%. So don't cancel, leave it like that. Leave it like that over 50. Don't cancel 0, 0, remain with 3 or 5. No, just leave it like that. Then the full quantity now. The full quantity means 100%. So if 50, if 1%, you can also simply say if 1% is 30 out of 50, what about 100%? So this one will give you simply multiply this with 100% to get what 100% is. So you can simply say, if 1% is 30 out of 50, then 100% is 30 out of 50 times 100%. So this is going to give you, by 5 1 over 6, that is going to give you 60 items. So this is going to give you 60 items. 60 items. So you simply multiply this. For you to get the 100% item, you just simply multiply by 100. So there's an exercise there that I want you to be able to do. That is on page 88, exercise 66, number 1, 2, and 3. Exercise 66, number 1, 2, and 3. Exercise 66, exercise 66, number 1, 2, and 3. That is on page 88, that is 87, 88, and 89. From 87 to 89. This is very, very important work. And I'm going to give you sample questions of how this work comes in an exam so that you can be able to understand what exactly you're supposed to do. So until next time, I want to wish you well. Be able to read the questions well. Ensure you understand exactly what the examiner wants, and then do the right work. Do it with your working shown there so that you can be able to see exactly what you are doing. Have a blessed day ahead, and may God bless you.